Today, I'm thrilled to welcome a truly inspiring individual to the show, my new show. And Christina Shaw is someone whose journey is a testament to passion, purpose, and authenticity. So, in this conversation, she'll share pivotal moments that shape her life, uncover what lights her up, and reveal the unique gifts that set her apart. So get ready to explore what brings her joy, how she creates impact, and what truly means to live in alignment with your purpose. So, Christina, let's dive in.
Thank you
I
so
wrote
much.
everything down.
I'm so happy to be here. So I appreciate you and I appreciate you putting this out for people to listen to. I love where you're going with this. It's beautiful. And it was more recent than 45 years ago. Um, Almost 10 years ago, a little shorter than that. I lost my home to a fire and my marriage as well. Fell apart, if you will, that year, and I experienced a divorce. And those two moments happened within a few months of each other. And if that doesn't like shake you and give you an opportunity to redefine who you are and like the life you really want to be living. I had this opportunity to truly start over. I had no home, I had no possessions, I had no marriage, but I had like soul and my kids were happy and healthy. I think that was the moment that said, from here on in, you should be living your very best life. And if it doesn't feel like you're doing that, then you have the power to change that.
Wow. How
Yeah.
old were your children at that time?
They were babies, literally. So it was challenging, Claudia. I look back and I'm like, how did I get through that? So for anybody who's facing adversity, or what I like to say, maybe you're just in a dark hole, and that's okay. Um, but when you pop up, when that time is right, you do have the opportunity to rewrite your story. Like the life you are living, in my opinion, should be a fulfilled life. Not that, things don't happen, right? Life can be ugly, but like you could live a life on purpose. And sometimes, for me at least, it took these major life events to say, this is what I love about my life and this is what I'd like to fix.
Wow. I really feel that this is something that we need to bring out more into the world because, a lot of women like us thinking that we are by ourselves, having problems, small problems, when actually this is a huge problem
Yes.
compared
And
to
nobody talks
comparison.
about it. You're right.
Yeah.
People want to, and I'm included in that, like, no, I don't need help. I got this. I'm good. And it really takes a village, a lot of villages to help
Mhm.
raise children and run a successful business. And I love that you're doing this because I think the more we could talk about this, the more people
Mhm.
feel empowered to make those decisions.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. So I think that, looking at you, I feel like you have gone through life.
Yeah.
You know what it takes to get out of the hole into what you are today. So very powerful story because story actually sells more than facts.
Yes.
People don't care about facts.
I would say being a mom
Mhm.
and having the ability, because I own my own business, to be everywhere that my kids are,
Mhm.
that to me allows me to be the richest woman in the world. I joke that like Chase Bank doesn't agree with that statement. But joy is driving the kids to dance and grabbing a slice of pizza on the way home. It comes with sacrifice, like right early mornings in my office if I know I'm leaving at 4 o'clock, or like really balancing my day, but that brings me the best joy. And then getting to, my partner has two boys, and so getting to be in their lives. I struggle with the word stepmom. I struggle with the word bonus mom because they have beautiful moms. But just getting to be on that journey is beautiful. So I try to, and I think a lot of this conversation that we're trying to bring out is also like giving yourself grace. So everything I say, I practice 90% of the time. And then there are days like I'm lucky I could put one foot in front of the other. And I think that's important, not to create like nirvana, but I have a pretty strong meditation practice, whether it be for 5 or 10 minutes while I'm getting ready in the morning to just help my mindset. At night, I listen to something most nights that's going to put me in a position to like wake up feeling energized. Most times, like Dr. Wayne Dyer is who's in my ear. And I work out. So I treat my sessions with my trainer lifting weights just as I would treat a meeting with you. So if I'm showing up at 2 o'clock to meet you and a client, I'm going to be there early and give you my best self. I'm going to do the same for me. And I think that we have to start empowering people to realize that self-care isn't selfish. That when I take care of me, then I could lead my team and my kids, and I could be for everybody. So I just try to take care of myself. Like later tonight, I'm going to do a long walk on the treadmill. I'm not down with this weather. And I'm going to go in the sauna. And I'll make time for that, even though it's challenging, but I treat my schedule. I'm pretty strict with it. And I think that allows me to keep all the balls in the air.
That's really good. I really like what you said just now that you actually make time for yourself and you meditate. I want to know more about that. How do you
It's
meditate? With
yeah,
music or how do you
I
do?
do it on an app. So I used to be a pretty diligent Peloton rider. But then as age starts creeping up, um, I have some hip and knee issues. So I had to stop my riding. But I kept the app, and I use that app because I like the guided meditation. I'm not at the point, like if I had to, I could sit and do it, but I like the guided ones. And I generally, they have like morning ones, which I just feel like it's a nice way to set up your day. And that reminder that, like, for the most part, I'm in control of how it goes, how
Mhm.
I respond. And, so I just use that app.
That's good. Another thing you were saying that you listen to Dr. Wayne Dyer. Is it
Yes.
while you sleep or before you sleep?
That's a great question. So I will do while I'm falling asleep. So I'll listen to him, and I usually fall asleep as it's happening. Or like kind of as I'm getting ready for bed, my kids joke around. They're like, "Oh, mom's listening to, her friend." And I met him once on Maui. I actually stood outside his home for hours and hours and hours. And when he came outside, I said, "I'm your biggest fan." And he was such a gentleman. He went upstairs and got me autographed things. Um, but he says things, Claudia, that we all know, but we need that reminder, like what we focus on grows.
Right,
And
right.
what we want to see is will happen. And like again, it's easy as a business owner, living in a blended family. I'm divorced. It's easy to like get caught up in what's not working. So I try to focus on what is working.
That's
Well, it's interesting you ask because I do a lot. So I'm an all-state agent, right? I own an insurance agency, but I have a coaching company where I coach insurance agents on how to have a digital presence. But I love it so much. If I told you, like, what I charge, you'd be like, Christina, how do you make any money? And it's my passion. I want every insurance agent and every realtor to have such a strong personal brand that like the company behind them, it's great, but that's not why they're getting hired. So I would do that for free all day long. And I do a lot of like tomorrow I'm doing a free pop-up email marketing class because I also believe that like when you give, it just is so much better. But that's what I would do if I didn't have a mortgage and kids who thought they were Kardashians. I would teach people how to have a brand for free all day long.
Maybe you should increase your price.
Yeah, I know.
Then you can actually quit your daytime job.
That is so funny.
That's really good. I know you give a lot for free,
Yes,
100%. Yes, that's
I
that's
try
really
to um really provide value
mm-hmm.
before I ever, especially to my real estate community who is like you, so very good to me. Like my business could never exist without you. And so I try to say, what can I do to make your life, a tad bit easier? So I think if you like live in service of others, the rest takes care of itself.
Definitely. Yeah,
You know.
that's really true. Because when you think about others, your problem is really not, you don't think about yourself so much. It's like, life is bigger
Yeah.
than just that, me.
Exactly,
Mhm.
exactly. Really, like, I want to rewrite the narrative on single moms. That is something that you hear a lot of it in passing, and I don't think people mean it. I don't think people realize rather the impact it could have on somebody's psyche. Like I get, oh, you live in this beautiful house and you're single, and I'm like, yes, I don't live in a box on the street because I am a strong, successful woman. Or you hear, like, well, should I hire this person? They're a single mom. And I'm like, nobody works harder, in my opinion, a single mom or a single dad, insert. So that is something to me that I don't understand, like, culturally, the concept of like staying together and being unhappy. Not that you don't take marriage seriously, but at some point, if it's clear it's not working, so that's something that like speaks to my soul. Um, and then making sure our children in schools in struggling communities, like they should never not have to eat.
Right.
And I just think I remind the girls all the time, like you realize you're so blessed that you just like open the fridge and there's food there. So how do we as like a country help the people who need help?
Right. That's there's a lot of need out there for that, for sure.
Yeah,
Percent
yeah,
role models like you.
yeah. And the kids, like
Mhm.
that's what pulls at my heart because you and I can maybe possibly get a second job, a third job. Like we can make decisions to try to change our situation if possible, if healthy and able-bodied. But these kids don't have that ability, and that like that's tough. Great question. I think my consistency and my energy. So I will, if I am starting something, I am carrying it through and I am doing it in a big, bold way. Um, and I'm going to bring everything forward. So I think that there's really beautifully talented people who can't be consistent, right? Like they're on a roll for a day or two and then they fall off. I think my superpower is I am like a creature of habit. Very routine. And I think also I'm not afraid to fail. So I make a lot of mistakes that like I think will be maybe great marketing piece in my business and it doesn't work. And then something I think is silly actually works. So I'm okay like failing or looking silly, if you will, because I think the more you fail, the more success you have.
Couldn't
Um,
agree more. That's true. Yeah.
yeah.
And
So I think that
right.
like sets me apart. I think there's a lot of people who get paralyzed and they don't want to make the wrong decision. So like I'm just like, let's go.
You're not the analysis paralysis.
No, no, no,
Not at all.
no. But it's nice. I have a partner. I think by virtue of him being an attorney, he analyzes everything. I analyze nothing. Um, and so it's a good balance. Like I have to buy a new refrigerator and I'm just gonna like be in and out in 15 minutes. And he would have like charts of the and like I that's just not my personality. So it's a nice balance too,
Right,
because
right.
sometimes I should do a little research.
You're the big picture thinker. You don't care about the details of
The
those.
details really bother me. So let's I will follow up with what fridge I buy later.
I think you exemplify a person that is a starter and then a finisher. You also finish. You don't just start and not complete the whole thing. I think that's huge. Would you think so?
Thank you. Yes. Um, I think it's just it's also huge for ourselves. So I write a lot of things down. I have like journals everywhere. Um, And I get a lot of satisfaction from crossing things off my list. Like I love lists and I'm an anxious person. So when I'm feeling like anxiety is getting the best of me, I like to write things down. Um, and it's a good feeling to cross it off when it's finished.
Right. It's like
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, it feels so good.
So good.
So
When it's
good.
not done, you can't sleep, can you?
Exactly. I love checking things off.
That's really good. I think we have a lot of similarity in
Oh,
that.
100%. Interacting with people, I would say.
Mhm.
So, um, going into a room and making friends, I think naturally I'm chatty, I'm interested in others. And so it just is easier for me than some really close people in my life or like, how do you get on a stage and speak? Or how do you speak to Keller Williams agents? I think that just kind of comes naturally to me.
That's really good because a
Yeah.
lot of people are like, I'd rather die than go in front of people.
Yes, I have a lot of colleagues who I'm like, let me coach you and teach you how to stand in front of realtors. It's so much fun. And they're like, I'd rather buy 3,000 internet leads than do that. And I would rather stab myself than call 3,000 people to see if they're interested in insurance. So it is kind of cool to find your lane and then like stay in it.
That sets you apart too, actually, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, I know who I'm focusing on, and that's what I'm focusing on. I'm not like trying to grab in every center of influence because
Mhm.
then I can't really provide that value.
That's good. You know your avatar exactly.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Mhm. That's really, really good.
I own an insurance agency, an Allstate agency for the last 26 years. I love what I do. We have a really strong team in the office. We have a service department and a sales department, so we're highly specialized. Um, and auto insurance, home, condo, co-op, flood. Think about like all the personal lines. Um, and then my side business, if you will, is my coaching to insurance agents and realtors. And everybody can follow me on Instagram. My handle is I'm with Shaw. And then my phone number is the best phone number ever. People always say, oh, I have to get a pen. And I say, no, you don't. It's 516-900-1234. So we're very, very easy to reach via phone and text.